Good afternoon, everybody. We wanted to touch base with you and let you see behind the screens of the construction site. We haven't done this in a while. It's Friday, November 20th, right before we start Thanksgiving week. And we're just going to take a little look around so you can see some of the progress that's been made. There's actually been significant progress made in terms of plumbing and things like that. Lynthia is going to pan around right now, and if you look down on the ground in front of us, you've seen all the cranes and things like that bringing in these massive concrete structures. What they are basically is the grease traps for the kitchen that's required for the new ballroom. Since we are going to have such seating capacity and everything else, the old system that we had, which was basically a little under-counter dishwasher that only had to meet the sanitary code for a house, is now being replaced by the grease trap system that's required for a commercial entity. But the good news about all that is we will be able to handle the big banquets and things we always had in the past with the new facilities. So that's all being done. You see various trucks and crews around. If we take a walk a little bit this way towards the front, towards the parking lot, it wasn't just this area that had to be dug up. Actually, if you look all down the line to the front of the building, all the way to the tennis courts, there is an entire new sanitary connection put in with another grease trap down by the tennis courts. That's for our snack bar operation. We're going to break for a while Lynthia and I walk back to the fitness center, which is actually coming up out of the ground at this point. See? Okay, so Lynthia and I took a little walk back towards the fitness center. I'm actually standing in what will be the entrance foyer to the fitness center. It's actually coming out of the ground, and you can start to see what's happening. They've actually got all the plumbing rough-ins for the waste lines for the toilets, the showers, things like that, the steam room. All the conduit is placed in the ground for all the electric outlets that are going to happen for where the fitness equipment is going to be. You see the gentleman out there right now. He's actually working on placing what needs to be placed so we can pour the concrete on Monday. So you can see every machine is going to have internet and TV access and electricity. And all this wire and mesh and everything that's down and the visqueen that's down is getting ready so that we can actually pour the final foundation and start watching the building come up from the ground starting after next Monday. But it is exciting to see. You can see the size of this gym is obviously a lot larger than what we used to have. When you're working out on the machines, you're going to have a beautiful view of the lake, and there's a whole separate area for people to work out, or on the other side to stretch and use the yoga mats and things like that. All right, our next stop is going to be out in where the new parking lot is. Okay, now we're over in what looks like Beirut, Lebanon, but we're actually in the new parking lot area. I'm going to have Lynthia pan around so you can get an idea of the scope of how large this parking lot is actually going to be. We're standing to the west of the old parking lot, and you can see it's significantly larger than the old parking. In the distance, you can see how all of the drainage structures are already placed in down the end here. So the finished grade of the parking lot is going to be at the top of that manhole cover. There's another one down there. And if we look this way, Lynthia, they can get a better close-up. Let's walk a little this way. View of over here. What's been going on with all these cranes and everything else. That's another drainage structure. All these things are going in so we can actually put in the new parking lot. If you look over towards the plumbing truck there, that is going to be the new roundabout in front of the bocce court and the new fitness center, so you'll be able to drive up and drop people off in case it's raining or anything like that. All right, we're going to take another walk around and be back with you in a few seconds. Okay, a few people have asked what the inside of the clubhouse actually looks like at this point, so we're going to take a walk through what used to be the entryway to the ballroom. So come walk with us and we're going to go see what's inside. As you can see over here, I was talking before about all that's been ripped up for the new plumbing lines. The nice thing is, a day ago, these were trenches that were 10 and 12 feet deep and 15 feet wide. They're now all compacted and put back together. Signs that we're actually making progress. Let's take a walk. Okay, so we're going into the stage door of the old clubhouse. As you can see, there's no longer a ballroom. Doesn't look like much has changed, but if you look up at the ceiling, everything has been demoed out all the way to the roof. If we walk this way, the old bathrooms are gone. Basically, everything's gone except for the cinder blocks and a few girders. Even there, if you look up, these old steel beams are where the partition wall used to be. The old partition wall this way, the steel is gone. The steel's gone from here and here. And what you have, in fact, is this newly built partition wall. And you'd probably say to yourself, well, what is that all about? Because that doesn't look like anything in the floor plan. What that is that's a partition wall so that when we rip off the roof above us, which is one of the next things we're going to do, the rain and the whole atmosphere will not come into the remaining part of the building that we're not changing. So to give you an idea, Lynthia and I are right now standing, we're probably about 10 feet into the new ballroom. Take a pan around, Lynthia, so they can see the size of what this is going to be like. The room is actually going to be about 6 or 7 feet higher, so it's going to be grand. And that entire wall in front of us is going to be gone because that's where your new stage is going to be. So the stage is not coming inside this building. The stage is being added onto the building. So you can see when we're done, it's going to be a pretty grand ballroom, and it's going to accommodate a lot more people than we ever had in the past. Let's look back at the entryway. This entryway that used to exist, we're looking at the two doors where the entry hall used to be to come in and play cards and stuff. Those are actually going to be gone because they're actually inside the new ballroom. Over here where the men's room used to be, you wouldn't know it was a men's room looking at it now. This is where the new opening is going to be and the entry foyer to come in. And I'm standing right now, Lynthia, if you look at the line on the floor, if I were standing here in the new clubhouse, take the line and look all the way out there. That's basically the center line of the ballroom and the stage. So it gives you some idea of the space. It'll be much more exciting once we rip the roof off because you'll really understand how grand it's going to be. We're going to take a walk down this way and look a little more at other things that are happening inside. Doesn't seem like much, but there's a lot of prep going on so that they can actually start ripping the roof off. We're now passing what used to be the old arts and crafts room, the old library to the left. Those things are obviously all gone at this point. And again, we now have this partition wall made out of plywood that had to be built. That's built because when we get into the lobby here, which as you can see is completely gutted, they're going to have to rip off the back of the building here to start putting in the structure for the second floor, which is going to go up here. So when they rip this apart, again, all the weather is going to come in the building. So they build these temporary walls to create zones that basically leave part of the building climate controlled and minimize the amount of the building that's not climate controlled because we don't want to have mold and damage to the structure because it's exposed to the elements. So we try to make it that it's all airtight as much as possible, and then we rebuild outside as quickly as possible. Let's take a walk down this end. What used to be the gym. Our offices, you see, are gone. The gym is gone. And again, on this side, you see another temporary wall in the middle of what is going to be the snack bar, grill, cafe, whatever you want to call it. I know we're not supposed to use the word cafe, but the snack bar area. This area right now is being sectioned off because they have to open up the outside to do the upstairs, and that'll come down afterwards. But right now, if you're looking at the gym area, this entire section is going to be the dining area and service area for your snack bar food service operation. And when I looked over to that corner, that's where your billiards room is going to be, and our offices are going to be over here. So as we start to build things instead of take things apart, I think you'll get a much better feel of what's going to happen. But we wanted to show you that stuff is going on. We know you're anxious to see what's going on because you can't get behind that screen. I know a few of you do take pictures peering over the screen, but a lot of times you don't have the narrative to go with it to know what's going on. So this is probably the last cast we're going to do before Thanksgiving, which is next Thursday. Everybody, please stay safe and have a wonderful holiday, and we will see you again after that.